All right, welcome back. Today I'm doing a little bit of testing with the Skydio2 autonomous drone. I purchased this drone as a different way to capture footage of motorcycling, mountain biking, one-wheeling, whatever. Some of the different fun things I like to do outside, and I thought this would offer a different or unique perspective. So in this case, I initially took the drone out to a pretty open parking lot to do a little bit of testing. And you can see the drone does an excellent job of tracking a subject. And in conjunction with the Skydio beacon, you have the ability to control different aspects of its flight characteristics, such as how far it is away from the target, or specifically where the Skydio might be in relationship to the target, behind it, in front of it, off to the left or right, etc. So I wanted to take a little bit of time in a nice open space to do a little bit of testing to get an idea on what launching looks like, what landing looks like, and then just overall what controlling the drone looks like. And I'm pretty happy to report that utilizing the beacon things are pretty straightforward. For the most part, you're simply adjusting the drone's position and distance away. And in conjunction with those two things, I feel like you can develop a bit of a partnership with the drone and put it in the best position to maintain a lock on the target. Here, I'm pretty much prepping and launching the drone on a multi-use path or multi-use trail. So right off the bat, I kind of decided that I wanted to make sure I kept a little bit of distance between the drone and other trail users. So I adopted the idea that whenever I see another trail user, I'd back the drone up as far as I could. So you can see here, it's starting off at a decent distance, doing a little bit of obstacle avoidance on a couple of trees. Another thing I had somewhat planned on doing was trying to position the drone the best way that I could so it would have the best shot at avoiding obstacles right off the bat. So instead of putting it into a place where I felt it would fail, I tried to reposition it from behind me to maybe off to the right or off to the left. And granted, this is the first day of me flying the drone, and I felt it did a wonderful job really sticking with me. Here I'm just out on a OneWheel XR, enjoying a beautiful morning. I've got the drone a little closer in here, spot a couple of additional trail users, so I back it out as best I can while they're approaching. A little bit of a slight downhill here, so I'll do a little regen braking on the one wheel. If you're not familiar with one wheels, they're a blast. So much fun to get out and just tool around on. In addition to that, I think the XR's got around somewhere between a 19 and 20 mile range, give or take. And then anything that you do descending wise, you can get it to slow down a bit and have it regeneratively recharge the batteries through that braking. Here I'm positioning the drone off to my left, getting somewhat of a profile. And from what I gather now, to adjust the drone's altitude, the easiest way to do that is to use the beacon and simply point down or bring it down, utilizing a kind of a drag and drop motion. In this case, there's a couple of turns that descend in elevation. So I'd back the drone out and I wanted to see how it would do here. And it's actually much further away than I figured that it would actually get. But it does a reasonably good job of keeping a lock on me, continuing to look visually for me in addition to utilizing the GPS. And then it grabs me and I bring it in just a little bit closer. So again, first time using the drone, it seems to be doing a fantastic job of enabling me to get out and just do what I want to do and it's capturing the footage without needing, a third party there running a GoPro or driving or flying a drone around. Getting a few more turns in here, a couple more trees. Now, in this instance, I had it off to my left, was backing it out, and I think in conjunction with kind of this right-hand sweeper and this little grove of trees here, it definitely got into some trouble. And by trouble, it worked itself into an area that it couldn't work itself out of. You'll notice it's doing a wonderful job at obstacle avoidance. I'm going to speed this footage up a little bit so we can see it kind of move around and dance around in between the different branches, leaves, etc. And in this case, I recognize that, hey, the drone's not with me, so I need to go ahead and flip the board around, which I do, and start to come back the other way. The drone continues to track, sees me. So my thought at this point was, I'm going to give it an opportunity to pop out of that little spot, that pocket in the trees, and retrack with me. Did a fantastic job of doing that. I think the drone's got 6 different cameras that it uses for obstacle avoidance and process somewhere around 45 megapixels of visual data. Pretty quickly. It seems to do that exceedingly well. Here I'm approaching a slight underpass. You'll see the bridge in just a moment as I pull out. So I recognize that with the bridge of the underpass coming up, I was definitely going to need to bring the drone in a little bit closer to ensure that it didn't attempt to fly over the bridge. I bring it in and it does a great job of tracking around the corner. I drop it in behind me here, and it just does an impressive job of getting in nice and close to where I'm at. The beacon's pretty intuitive. I don't think it's going to take a ton of time to get really used to the buttons and the positioning. Here, the drone's going to do a pretty wonderful job of navigating in between a couple of different branches, and we're probably doing somewhere around 12, 13 miles an hour here. Here I've got the drone in front of me. I do want to practice positioning the drone's altitude in relationship to a subject or target as well. A lot of my footage is up pretty high. Here's my first landing that I had the opportunity to use the case. So the case, you can see, has a somewhat of a target on it, and in watching a few of the ground school videos, they talked about utilizing the case and having the drone lock on. So I wanted to stop, grab the app, the actual phone app. I've sped this footage up a little bit as well as I fumble through the app pretty clumsily, but I wanted to get the drone to lock on and land, and it does, again, a really good job of locking onto the case and landing, even despite my fumbling through the app. So so far, thumbs up on the Skydio2. Yeah.